What's up, everyone? Ron Carter here and Brian
Brian
Marsolais.
Marsolais.
Welcome to the Mind Design Podcast, episode 11.
Yeah, episode 11 already, Ron. It's been really good. Went over a lot of great, mind hacks. So anyone listening out there, we'll talk about anything you want, but also look back at some of the things we've had, and I'm sure it can help you along your path.
Yeah, for sure. So right before we got on, we were talking about the surfing thing, right?
Yeah.
And hurt the shoulder, like falling on the surfboard. Crazy thing is, what day did you go surfing? Was it on
Tu
Saturday or
no, it's Tuesday.
okay? So that was
Yeah.
just last week then.
Yeah. I felt some crunch in my shoulder to begin with. I'm like, okay, I do a lot of activities, as you know, but then I went surfing Tuesday, hit this fantastic wave. I couldn't say no. I rode it a little too long. It got into some real shallow water and I flipped off the board. And when I landed just enough to just finish off the shoulder. And now I'm like, you know, getting treated for it tomorrow. So, you know, nothing like a couple Advil, which I hate taking any kind of medication, but
Right.
you know.
Yeah. It's funny. I went out in the water yesterday and the day before. And I guess this is like it's weird because it was actually pretty cold and I didn't have a wetsuit because I was like, it's gonna be fine. But I was just out there anyways and
Yeah.
so as soon as I got out there, of course it was freezing when I got in, but after a while it's like got used to it. And and I was out there and as soon as I got out of the water to come in, um, I noticed my elbow's not hurting anymore, but I noticed like right in here, my whole arm and elbow was just hurting. It felt like I hyperextended it or something. And it's like
Really?
I don't even know what I did because I wasn't feeling it when I was out there at all. And I was like, I wonder if it's because it was so cold out there, just that I just didn't feel it. I'm just feeling like adrenaline and feeling good, doing what I'm doing. But as
Yeah,
soon as I got
that's
out, it hurt.
you ever hear of those cold water plunges that people take?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
say it's supposed to be really good for inflammation. I mean, I've done it once. Um, in Florida, we actually went to a resort and they had the cold water plunge. I went into a sauna, then I went to this cold water plunge. And then
okay, the
I
back and
felt
forth.
like real energized after it. But I mean, I don't know. Is it good for inflammation? Of course, I'm surfing up north here and in New Hampshire, and the water's 60 on a good day.
Yeah,
But I have a wetsuit on, and I absolutely have learned to love the cold water. Um, I love it on my feet, you know, and my hands. I don't know. It seems to help me with
do you ever do you ever
everything.
go in without a wetsuit?
Yeah, I do, but um, come like early September, late August, I'll go in without a wetsuit.
Once it's like really hot
The
outside.
water, well, it's funny because the currents always dictate the temperature of the water, really.
Right,
But
right.
when it's really hot, the water seems to get up in the low 60s, which is really nice for here.
Yeah. It
What's
seems
it
really
like in
similar.
California? What's the temp? About the same?
The water temp,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's about the same.
Yeah.
Like
It's cold, man. It's
it,
shocking some days.
it's usually like in the 50s, you know.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, it was usually if it's really hot outside, if it's like super hot outside, it's like if the water's in the 50s, like cool, it feels refreshing. Then you get out, and then you warm up in the sun and then you get back in and you get it and but when I went yesterday, it was like overcast, cloudy, and like 63 degrees outside. And so I was out there at 63 degrees outside. The water is like mid 50s, and I'm out
Yeah,
there just
wow.
with no wetsuit.
That's freaking cold.
Yeah. And then when I came in, I was like, all right, like we're not hanging out on the beach today. It's time to go home now and get
Yeah.
the, hot shower. But Yeah, it's funny because like I was just thinking about all that stuff and like just leisure stuff because like I was doing that yesterday and Saturday, and I knew that this week was going to be like a really busy week for me. And like part of me wanted to just like not go do any leisure, like just stay home. And I have a bunch of homework for school, like
Yeah.
business stuff. It's like, all right, like just it's Saturday and it's Sunday, like your girlfriend's not working, but just like lock yourself in this office and do this stuff. And it's like, and plus you're going, I knew I'm going on vacation on Wednesday. It's like you got to do all this stuff before you go on vacation, like just grind it out. And I'm realizing like I might be able to do it all before I go on vacation. I might not, and that's
You know,
okay.
it's interesting because, with the businesses that I own, and sometimes what I used to do, the old Brian, and hopefully it doesn't come back. I would have like this beautiful 5-day vacation, right? And I'd start getting a little nervous on day 3. On day 4, I'm looking for a flight out of there early. And I can't tell you how many times I have done that. Leave the vacation early because you got to get back to work because God forbid the company can run without me, but I don't know that, in my own head. I've really had to practice hard on that.
Yeah,
So let
I
my let my advice to you, young man.
yeah, please, I need it because this is something that I struggle with right now. Like taking vacation and not
Yeah,
just taking time off is I'll admit it's hard for me to do that, right?
yeah. Well, for myself, I've you know, I've been able to take Fridays off for probably almost the last year. And it's helped me mentally so much more because now it gives you that extra reset day and your productivity will go up higher by taking more time because you're more relaxed and you make better decisions at your job. And I know it's hard to believe, but I've proven it for myself. Um, I've taken that Friday off, which it hasn't hurt me financially at all. I've made the same amount of money. The company still runs the same without me. And one of the key things that I did was I told my project managers, I said, look, don't call me with a problem unless you have already 3 solutions for that problem. And suddenly I wasn't getting bothered at on Fridays at all, you know?
So
So
let me ask you for people who don't like own a business though, right?
yeah, yeah, like
Um,
someone like yourself.
right. I, it's
Well,
like
you
yeah, I
do own a
have
business, that's the
but it's
thing.
different because I'm self-employed, right? I don't have employees. There's right now,
Right.
you know. So it's like if I'm not doing the work, then no one is. At least
Well,
at this moment, right?
okay, so I know what you do basically. I know the top of the iceberg
Right.
and I know how much you work. I know how much it takes because I know you, as a friend. And I would say to you, communicate with your clients, the ones that you have, and just say, "Hey, I'm taking 5 days for me. I'll be right back on it when I get back, and I'm doing the best I can." But just all you have to do is communicate it, and I guarantee you, your clients are going to be happy for you. Oh, great, Ron. Have a good time. Let me know how it goes. Because I think most people know the importance of rest and recuperation. And if you keep pushing as hard as you have been for the last, I just want to say 6 months, right? Six
Hmm.
months that I've kind of studied your charts on what you're doing, right?
Right.
Um, I don't want to say that it's impossible. It's very possible. A lot of people have done it, but the challenge that I have with it it becomes too overwhelming, and then that goes into everything that you do. Like
Mhm.
even when you're on vacation, you're not on vacation. Your girlfriend's going to end up saying to you, "Hey, like, are you here? What are you thinking about?" You know, and that's something that I think if you just communicate with the people who you work hard for, they're going to say, "Hey, that's great, Ron. Have a great time."
Right, right.
But we don't, we as workaholics, you don't see it that way. So it's almost like a little bit of a mind shift and say, "Hey, you know what? The most important thing in this journey is me." And that takes a lot to um, self understand, if there's such a word as that, self evaluate, maybe.
Determine.
Because, because, Ron, you're the most important thing in this. If you, let's just say you're working 80, 90, 100 hours a week, plus school, right? Plus your meetings, plus all this stuff that you're doing on your way to reach a certain goal. If you keep pushing that hard, you're going to start um, not enjoying your time like you were
Mm,
when you first started.
right.
And, people see that. People can say, wow, this guy's just a little testy, maybe a little overworked, a little, you know what I mean? Because you can
Yeah.
only, you know you. Hey, I need some time for me. And I don't know. That's just my opinion. If anyone's listening, shoot some comments down there. Let us know what you do for, when things get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think another thing too is like that I want to implement like on the horizon for like the different communities that I have is um I have ads that take people into my free community, right? And then right now, it's me doing all when people are in the free community, they're booking calls with me. That's when I sell them into my paid one, or I'm messaging people and then I'm selling them into the paid community, and that's how the business makes money. But even then, I'm showing up and doing live Zoom calls Monday through Friday for the
Yeah.
people in the paid community for an hour a day. And so what I see, at least right now, for the rest of this year that I'm building there is like I'm training people in the paid community on how to do sales, like through DM, so how they can message and sell. And so I see like in a while, I'm waiting on this feature to come out in the software that I use for this. But eventually, taking the people that are doing the best in there, that are doing really good, and then saying like, hey, like asking if they want to actually be the person that's in the free community DMing people to sell them into the paid one. And
And you mean put them on a salary?
it would be a commission basis.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, like message all the people in the free group every time you, and it would be like recurring commission, right? So it's like you get one sale in there, you're getting this much every month. Um, but I'm looking at like, okay, like I'm not going to be able to do this at this pace forever. I know that. And it's like, yes, I do have to take time for myself. That's number one. But number two, I also want it to be able to keep growing. And so that means that somebody else is going to have to be doing some of these things.
Mm,
And and maybe I won't start with sales. Maybe I'll have the person who understands the concept the best, like pay them to do some of those coaching calls. So it's like not me on every single call Monday through Friday in the paid group. Um, but somewhere, somebody else is going to have to start doing some of the stuff, right?
yeah.
And and so that's eventually what I want to build it to. So it's like there's all these calls and all this support and all these things that are happening that are helping people, but I'm not on them. Just like when your electrical company gets a new job,
Mm,
you know, like you're not necessarily like the electrician going out there and putting the, wiring the things up, you know.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless you have to be. for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
exactly. It's funny how that plan fails once in a while, but
Right.
in one of my previous videos when I first started, the YouTube channel and just try to help others, um, I showed the people watching a hotel that we were remodeling.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
we actually that job's actually finished. I got to go back there and refilm it as it's beautiful. What a beautiful hotel this came out. But anyway, it was a wreck when we started the project. But I was listing all the people there and all the people that were doing certain things, and I talked about it's not me that's it's a team. It's a team that makes everything work. The whole team. It's not just one person. And I think if you could, figure out a way not to duplicate yourself, but to put the certain people in places, to recognize that it, it's going to help you. It took me a long, excuse me, it took me a long time to figure that out because I'm a control type guy.
Right.
And when I let it go and I let other people make decisions here and there and maybe have a meeting once a week and go over certain things, it freed up more of my time to sell more jobs to keep everyone going more, if that makes any sense.
Right. Right. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Like it's like, all right, if I can get other people focused on the delivery and like trust that they're going to do it well and that keep everybody happy, then
Yeah.
I can take that same energy and put it towards bringing more people in,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm not going to say any names or plugs for other people, but I met you through a very, very well-known um I don't know, what would you call mindset coach
Yeah,
or
business mindset coach.
yeah, that's how I actually met you when you think about it. And you were working for him. He was doing exactly what you need to do.
Exactly. Because he wasn't on those calls. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. So, and that's key to
Yeah.
recognize it now though, instead of getting overwhelmed in another, yeah, at the pace you're keeping, it's great, it's admirable, but take it from an old timer, dude. 6 months from now,
Right.
you know, it
Yeah.
could change. You could be more, you're always a happy guy, but it's just that overload. It puts stress on your relationship. It puts stress on your family life. And it puts inner stress on you because you take it all in and you're feeling like if it's going to be, it's up to me. Well, hold on. That's not really true. You got to
Right.
build a team and, so you could take 5 days off and not worry about it.
Right. Yeah. I think right now, um, that is the plan, and that's why I moved over to this different platform that I'm using, so that I can do that. Like that's been the vision over the last like 40 days when I started doing this different stuff. Um, I think I have to go through. Well, I don't have to
You
change that
want
first and
to.
foremost.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
to, right?
Yeah.
I get to experience another level of push. Um, first, strictly because and that level of push is for driving more revenue. Because right now, every time that I bring a client on, it's recurring revenue. So it's not high ticket, so it's like 150 a month, right? Um, so it's like, all right, if I double my sales, then I double my income. I mean, the business income, not mine. Um, this month and next month and next month, as long as we don't lose people, right? So it's like, all right, bring more sales in, keep the same quality of service, and then once that number's a little bit higher, that's when I can start looking at like, okay, like paying somebody, even though it's only part-time work, to do some of these coaching calls. Somebody with some expertise, maybe somebody
Mm.
that's not in the group yet, right? Somebody from outside who already knows the stuff that I teach just as well as I do, if not better than I do, that would be willing to just be paid by the hour for some of these calls. So that way the level, I think that's the move. And I don't know how, but you just helped me realize that it doesn't have to be one of the clients, because if I'm only hiring people who are at my level, my skill set level or below it, or just even if it's just a little bit below it, but those are the only people that I bring in, well then the quality of service is just going to drop, right?
Yeah,
But if I'm bringing in people who are um, just as good as me or better at the thing, then I get to free up time, and it actually makes the product delivery better. And then I free up time, and then I could even take that time, split some of it, and then allocate some of it to bringing in more people, and allocate the rest of it towards living my life, you know?
yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah,
And I think that area for you, Ron, would be like, what are you best at? Right?
yeah,
Maybe it's sales, maybe it's just, I don't know, rapport, which is sales, right? So if that's what's best for you, that's what you should focus on. Like for me to be out in the field, which happens more than I want, but if I'm out in the field pulling wire, doing that, I'm not running my business,
right,
right? So that effect of me being on the field, that means I'm not selling jobs. That means I'm not meeting people. That means I'm not um, keeping that income coming for the guys that work for me.
right,
So if and it happens. I mean, sometimes we get a little too overwhelmed, right? And I go in there and help. But the truth of it is, if I'm in the field more, then I'm not out on sales, um, or I'm not designing jobs, or I'm not, so you really have to take a look at what you do best. And then without fear, right? You got to hire somebody, whether you're paying them commission or not, whatever, however that structure is for you,
right,
and see how it goes. And if you might go through two, three, four, five people before you get that nice fit. Once you
right.
get that nice fit, you'll know it, and then you want another one, depending on how big you want to build this, you know, business.
Yeah,
Easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, just do this. Just
right,
hire
yeah.
more people, Ron. I mean, come on. You know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's always going to be challenges every time we do something new.
yeah.
So,
But, if, just put it another thing, just it's amazing, right? Like when you buy a new car. Oh, I've never seen this car, and then suddenly you see a billion of them the first day.
right, yeah.
So, you put it out there, say, hey, I'm looking, just put it out there. I'm going to be looking for someone. And then next thing you know, that someone will come.
I'll know 'em when I see them.
Yeah, or her, right?
Yeah. Him, them, short for
That,
them.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, hey, well, you are in California, right? And I think I think California kind of leads the pace, at least it used to for the country, right?
I mean, it's California, New York.
Yeah, New York's
Yeah.
another one. I don't
And
know. It looks like, how is California? It looks like some of the pictures I see, it looks like like LA is a mess.
I haven't been to LA in a long time, so
Yeah.
where I'm at's all right.
Yeah, you live in a beautiful place.
I mean, it's kind of cloudy, but just helps me appreciate the sun when it does come out.
Yeah, we had some storms roll through here this morning.
Yeah, so I don't know about the whole state of California. I'm really good at blocking things out and just focusing on my surroundings and what's good right there,
Yeah, I
and
like
and
that.
and I do that all the time.
Yeah,
Um,
I really like that, and I practice that all the time, and if it ever comes to something that doesn't look right, well, then take up the matter then, right?
right, yeah, it's like that saying of like we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I like to think of it like we'll cross that bridge if we even have to when we
Mm.
get to it.
Yeah, I like that. And I don't watch the news.
Yeah, me
Or
neither.
very, very rarely do I watch the news. And like it's funny because someone will say to me, on a job site or something, "Oh, hey, did you see that?" No. No, I didn't. I just, I'm just not focused on that.
That reminds me, and this will probably be helpful for any of you guys watching too. Um, is one of my first mentors. He was talking about it was in this like mindset like course that I was going through, and he was telling the story. Now this guy is like $100 million per year entrepreneur, right? But this is before that when he was living in New Zealand. And some of you guys may, if you're into business stuff, you may know this guy. His name's Sam Ovens. If you're not into business stuff, you won't know him, and that's okay. But so this story though, he was telling the story about the day that he had all of these beliefs broken. Um, and he worked a corporate job for this company called Vodafone,
Hmm.
and he thought he had like made it. He's like, because his version of like rich and successful was, um, you go to university, you get the corporate job, you
Hmm.
make 100,000 a year, and now you fly on private jets and eat steaks for dinner every night. That's just what he thought, right? And
Sounds pretty good.
and uh and so he's got the corporate job, he's not making six figures a year, and he's like, I don't know like how you're supposed to be successful. Like this, I don't know, this isn't working. And so anyways, his girlfriend at the time invited him to go to her friend's dad's beach house. And she said, "Hey, you want to go to my friend's dad's beach house?" And he's like, "Yeah, cool. That sounds good. We'll do that this weekend." And he thought that they were going to go to like a little shack on the beach somewhere. And turns out the beach house was like a mansion on a private island. And
Hmm.
so, and the dude owns the it's the dude owns the island, and that's where his beach house is. And so they're over there, and Sam is just looking around, and he's like, what does your dad do? What's up, Edie? He's like,
Uh-huh.
what does your dad do for a living again? And she's like, oh, he's an entrepreneur. And I don't know what kind of company or business he has, but um so Sam is asking all these questions, and he's like really confused because there was these things going on where like he was turning off all the lights in the house, right? And
Yeah.
like all the time they would leave a room, he'd turn off all the lights, and then the other people that were there kept turning the lights back on. And then one day someone was like, or one of the times that he was turning off lights, someone was like, hey, what are you doing? And it's like, oh well, we leave the room, so we got to turn the lights off to, you know,
Save money. So you
say
gotta save money
right.
on the electric bill.
Right. And then the guy that was there was like, oh, like no, 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 no. Like he wants this place lit up like a Christmas tree all the time. And so he's like, oh. And then Sam like thought about it and was like, oh, yeah, like this dude's got this island and like these statues and all these things that he built. He's not worried about saving money on the electric bill. He built this whole place. He wants it lit up like a Christmas tree all the time. And then
Yeah.
Sam was thinking like, what? That's weird. You're not supposed to do that. Like all these beliefs are being broken, right? The day that he's learning what an entrepreneur even is. And but one of the things that was really interesting, what you said, talking about the news, made me think about this. Um, they were all in a room, like watching TV. They were watching a show or something like that, and then like the TV cut to this like news report, and it was like this really negative stuff, and it was just like it was like the news is showing these people somewhere in some other part of the world like suffering and going
Yeah.
through some like hard things, right? And everyone's just sitting there watching and watching, and then the guy who owns the place just calmly like gets up and leaves and doesn't
Hmm.
say anything to anyone. He's not doesn't make a fuss about anything. He just gets up and leaves. And at first, Sam said that he was like offended, where he's like, "What? Like, how could you just get up and leave while there's people suffering on TV here, and we're supposed to pay
Yeah.
attention to this?
Where's your
We
compassion, right?
right? We have to watch this." And
Mm.
and so he asked the guy about it later on, and he said, "Hey, I noticed that like when that thing came on TV, you just kind of like got up and left." And the guy looked at Sam and like kind of smiled and said, "Sam, uh, he said, Sam, I don't put anything that's negative into my mind." And
Mm.
then, and so this is why he just got up and left when the news came on. He didn't say, "Hey, you guys can't watch this." He's like, "No, you guys do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to partake in this." And then Sam thought about it because at first he's like, "Well, that's kind of selfish. Like, like we should be paying attention to these people. They're going through all these different things." And but then he thought, "Well, you know what? Like honestly, like those people might be better off if this guy wasn't involved in that whatsoever, and he just keeps doing what he's doing because he's obviously doing something that's contributing to a lot of people, and that's how he's even like getting wealth in the first place. So he might as well just keep his mindset clean and just keep doing what he's doing, because it's going to have a bigger impact than us just watching the TV anyways."
Mm.
And so when I heard that story, that is what co-signed my decision, because I'd already decided to stop watching the news and all that stuff and like just focus on what I'm doing to be able to help people around me, and that's it.
Yeah.
And when I heard that story, that's like reaffirmed that to me, where it's like, okay,
Mm.
I could just do that, focus on the people around me that I could help. There's always going to be things and people and things going on elsewhere out there in the world. A lot of it is stuff that's beyond my control, even if I'm focusing on it anyways. So
Mm.
I might as well focus on the things that I can change for the better and leave it at that and hang out with the cat.
Yeah.
Come here, Edie. Edie.
That's a hypnotizing tale right there.
Come here. Oh,
Wow.
what's up?
I don't like being held like this.
No, she doesn't.
That's a good guess.
All right, all right, all right. Here, I'm gonna put you down here. Okay, or not.
Yeah, that's funny. Um, but yeah, so I mean, yeah, cut out negativity. I'm not saying don't be aware or don't have compassion,
Right.
but I'm just saying for me, watching the news is a waste of time. It like I love hockey, right? I love I love professional hockey. I love watching it. Um, and that's probably the only sport that I watch, if I even watch that, when I can. But for me, I just do not want to live somebody else's life. So I choose, right, to do my own thing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I used to watch a ton of football.
Yeah.
Like all day Sunday, that's what I would do, watching
Hmm.
football. Um, then, also Monday night, get off work Monday, watching football. Then it moved over to they have games on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, now I'm watching on Thursday. And then I remember when football season ending, when it ended every year, I'd be thinking like, what am I gonna do now? I didn't watch college football, so
Yeah.
it's like when the NFL is over, I'm like, oh, like just looking forward to next August and really September when the season starts again, and I could just
Yeah.
watch all the games of and be. But now I'm like, okay, I'll watch when my team is like, if they get to the playoffs ever, and my team, when the team that I grew up liking and that I was told
Is
by
that who
everybody
is
I
that?
should like,
San Francisco or who
the
is that?
Raiders.
The Raiders. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're Las Vegas Raiders now, but my
Yeah.
family
But
is from
this,
Oakland. So
yep. So
I
they're
still
still,
still get them like they're the Oakland Raiders.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But so now I think I've watched probably like 2 to 3 football games in the last 3 years.
Do you do that with your dad?
Uh, yeah, when I go up and visit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch football with him. Like on, if I go up there on Thanksgiving, we're watching football, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's a tradition for a lot of people.
yeah, and uh, and so, but here at home, I never watch it. And
Yeah.
the thing is, I had that same realization that you just shared, where it's like I would rather be, I would rather be doing things. Like I look at my life, like this is I have the blessing of being like the star in my own movie, looking at everything from the
Hmm.
first person perspective, and I'm the main character, at least from my perspective.
Yeah,
From your
yeah.
perspective, I'm a supporting role from for your movie,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Um,
It's Ron
but
Carter. Don't
but for
forget the cat. Ron Carter and his cat.
right. So, but from my perspective, I am the main character. And you know what? A movie about a guy who watches sports is not as good of a movie as a movie about a guy who plays sports,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like I could be a like my main character could be a guy who just loves watching movies and spends all of his time watching movies, but like that's not a very good movie for this character to be in. Right?
Hmm.
If I want to be infatuated with movies, I should be doing something with movies. Like this, like, all right, how about I like try acting, or I want to be in the movie, or I'm filming them, or I'm editing, or I'm doing cool stuff, right? Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I still do watch movies in the evening, but I don't do it all day long, right?
Mm.
Um, and like surfing, right? I could watch surfing videos all day, but I'd rather be out there, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yep. Pretty interesting, It's good, and I think a lot of people come to that realization that, life's short, man. You got to get out there and play.
Yeah, that's really it. Life's short. Get out there and play because that's what
Mm.
we're here to do. It's like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
lessons. It's not always super serious where it's like we got to learn, extract all the lessons from life and just squeeze the lessons out and just self-develop and improve. It's like, yes, that, but
So this
why?
goes back, Ron. This goes back. Let's circle back,
Yeah.
right? Let's circle back at our beginning conversation.
Ooh, snap.
Yeah.
All
Right?
right. Yeah.
So that's a lesson right there. You know, let's see. Is it all about work?
No.
So, take some time and, leave that laptop at home maybe, or your phone or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's hard, but I'm gonna do it.
it's challenging. It's challenging.
It's challenging.
Yeah. But, communication's key. And um, there are people who, you know, are very demanding on you. But just take that as a grain of salt. And yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there next week. I'm
Yeah.
important too. I know everything about, your movie that your client might be freaking out on you, right? I know how important your movie is, but my time's important too. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think the client thing is not going to be an issue. Um, the main thing is really just my homework that I have. It's going to be due while I'm on vacation,
yeah.
which is
Uh,
unavoidable.
Oh, it's
Um,
due on your vacation?
yeah, we travel back on Sunday and it's due Sunday at midnight. And so far, it takes me about 20 hours to do. So I'm going to have to do some of it while I'm there, like during some of the downtime while I'm there. And the thing is, I know that I know that I'll be able to do that as long as I'm not juggling that business and trying to be on vacation at the same time. It's fine. I can eliminate one of those, you know.
Yeah.
I can eliminate the business stuff, and when I need to like go find a corner to do homework, I can. And I know that everybody there, it's a family reunion get together. They all support education and they understand that like these deadlines, I didn't impose them and I don't want
Well,
to do
that's
this at
all,
work, you know?
that's yeah, that's all. That's true. That's everything you said is spot on. However, you're not going to get that time back.
Yeah.
So, whether you say, well, I'm going to stay up, because I don't know, it's your whole crew dry, because I know you don't drink anymore, right? Is your
Well, me
whole,
and my girlfriend are sober.
yeah.
Our
So,
family though.
instead of spending the last hour or two partying it up, do your homework then, or wake up early,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
you know, um, try
I'm
to
going
schedule
to
it.
I'm going to schedule it so that I'm not doing it midday when other cool stuff is going on, you
Yeah.
know?
And then that way, when people are, in bed or whatever it is, you're you're doing you, right?
Right.
Um, I mean that, there's always ways to get things done.
Yeah.
But I noticed too, going back to that, whenever I took vacations or things like that, I always felt like when I came back, I had like three times the work. It wasn't even worth going on vacation, and that's not a great feeling either. So
Right.
I think you just got to communicate with the people in your life and just say, hey, even the teacher, say, hey, it's the 4th of July. Is it a woman or a man?
Well, this class is a woman professor, but it's a purely online class, so it's like do all the
Hmm.
work, you know.
Yeah. So
So
it's
we don't
kind
even
of
see each
like,
other in class
what is it
because
all
it's just
like a Zoom class?
no, there is no class. It's just a bunch of reading, a bunch of videos to watch,
Oh, this
and
is what you
then
got to do.
writing papers off of the stuff and taking quizzes online.
Man,
Yeah, not my favorite.
isn't there an AI thing that could do that for you?
Yeah, they scan for it though, and really, and like ethically, it's like
Yeah,
I got to
yeah.
take quizzes, you know.
It was a joke.
Yeah. I know it's a joke, but I've thought about it. Like,
You know?
that's why I had an answer immediately.
Yeah. Uh,
uh,
that's awesome.
that's all right. But it's gonna be all good. And I guess hopefully anybody watching this gets to see that I think this was like a cool conversation. And because it just goes to show even the people like we're all human beings, even the people that are like self-professed um like mentors in a certain area,
Hmm.
like we're consider ourselves like mindset experts, right? But we still have the same thing that we all have as humans, where it's like I wouldn't even call it getting stuck in a rut because that's vocabulary is so important. But we face challenges and things come up, and then in the face of those challenges, um, thinking can be not as clear or muddied, and it just really helps to be able to have somebody else that's on the same path as far as like your own personal development and growth, um, to be able to bounce ideas and thoughts um, off of. And so hopefully this conversation's been helpful for you guys for that, because that's why we make these videos, because I wish that when I was getting into this kind of stuff I had somebody that I could at least be a fly on the wall, and see like how they're going through something similar to like what I'm going through or
Mm,
growing through, I should say. Um, and not feel so alone in the journey.
yeah. And the good thing is people when you comment, when you have questions, we'll get back to you. We always do.
Yeah.
you know? So whatever it is you're facing out there, we'll give it our best.
Yeah. We'll that's all we can do, right? And that's
Mm,
okay. But that being said, I'm gonna try to. You know what? I don't like that. I don't like that vocabulary. Um,
try. You're going to.
yeah, I'm going to get as much of my homework done as I can before this trip in a couple days, and we'll see if I can just knock it all out, and then not have to even worry about pulling out my laptop at all while I'm there.
I think that's a good goal.
Yeah,
I think that's a good goal. But whatever it is, like I said, block off little bits of time to do that. I don't know how to call it crap.
that's what
And
it is.
and then enjoy the time with, was it your girlfriend's family you're going with?
Yeah,
Enjoy them. How are they old? Are they young?
it depends on what you classify old and young.
Yes, a whole different thing with coming from me. Is her are both her parents still alive?
Yeah, it's gonna be her mom's side of the family. She's got a huge family.
Nice.
But all of her siblings are gonna be there too, and her siblings' significant others, and
Yeah.
it's just gonna be a lot of people. But it'll be fun.
Yeah. That would be great. What is it like a hotel you're staying at a campground?
No, we're getting an Airbnb that's like really close to this lake
Oh yeah, I
in
think you said that.
Washington.
Nice.
And so one of the days we're gonna rent a boat out there, and we're just gonna be out there. Just out there, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
In sunny California.
No,
No,
Washington State.
Washington State.
Yeah.
Woof.
Washington is
Huh.
nice in the summertime. I lived there for like 3 years.
Oh, no
A while
kidding.
back. Yeah. So it'll be
That's
cool.
awesome.
But
Right
alas,
on.
I gotta run. We will see you guys next week,
Yeah. Sounds
and
good.
I'll keep you updated on how everything went.
Yes. Yes, Ron. I hope you do. Hope you have a great time.
All right.
All right.
See you guys.